Good afternoon and welcome to ATG webinar, Automate Tedious Tasks in Revit. My name is Matt Lin. I will be your virtual host for today. This will be a brief presentation and we'll follow it up with a short Q&A session. When you close out of the Zoom meeting, you'll be directed to a quick 3-question poll. We'd really appreciate your responses to these. Again, it's only 3 questions. It won't take much of your time. This webinar is live, so please feel free to drop questions into the chat window. I will review and address each of these at the conclusion of the presentation. We are recording this webinar as we do with all of our webinars, so if you find this to be useful and want to revisit the presentation, please feel free to watch it again on YouTube or follow the links at LinkedIn. The easiest way to find these recordings is to just Google ATG USA YouTube, and it should populate as your first option. Not only will you find this webinar at this location, but all previous ATG webinars as well. Okay, so as the name implies, today's webinar will focus on automating tedious tasks in Revit, and we will utilize several different CTC tools and workflows to accomplish this efficiency. Today's course learning objectives include generate numerous views and minutes, quickly create multiple sheets with same naming convention as the views, produce many rooms with consistent naming and numbering convention, produce a finished schedule via the autofill function, and rapidly purge unneeded partial plans and sheets. Okay, so first let's create floor plans that align with the levels in our building. We want to make several floor plans per level, one for annotation, one for dimensions, furniture plan, and a life safety plan. In addition, let's assume the floor plate is too large to fit on a sheet, thus we will need partial floor plans for each of these views as well. Okay, so here's our model, and you can see there are 8 floors. It is a hotel. If any of you have taken trainings from us, you recognize this hotel right off the bat. Okay, so we have 3D views only. We don't have any other views, just the standard 3D views. Okay, so I'm going to use the CTC tool View Creator, and you can see you come in here, and I am in the Plan Ceiling tab. I clicked all the levels I wanted, and then I click all of the views I want to create via the view templates that are already baked into the file. Okay, so I have levels 1 through 8 checked, and then I have the floor plan annotation, dimension, furniture, and life safety. So it'll create a floor plan of each of those view templates for each level. Okay, over here you give it a phase, so we'll say new construction. And then I don't want to add an abbreviation for new construction because I'm going to assume it's a new building. So we don't need to specify that. Okay, in addition, let's go ahead and create some ceiling plans. So I'll use my ceiling plan view template with these same levels, and I'll add those. And you can see they're all added below. Floor 6, floor plan annotation, dimension, furniture, life safety, and ceiling plan. Okay, so with that, all you say is create views, and instantly it created 40 views, which is a lot of views just right off the bat. Come look over here at the floor plan. You can see it has a consistent naming convention starting with the level, and then the view template. Same thing with ceiling plans. Okay, now those are based on the levels too. All right. So again, let's pretend that this floor plate will not fit on a sheet. So we're gonna have to break it into partial plans. So I'm gonna use a scope box over here on the east side, kind of pull it in tight like so, and we'll call this the area A. And then I'm simply gonna grab that scope box and copy it over for the west side, which will be our area B. I'm just gonna nudge it over a little bit. Area B, area A. Okay, then I'm gonna jump back to, let's see, back to my CTC tools, back to the View Creator. And this time I'm gonna jump over to the Dependent View tab. Okay, so here I can use the scope boxes I just created, and you can see they're notated below area A and area B. And then I can quickly create views, dependent views, based on these scope boxes. All right, I'm gonna pull this over a little bit so I can see it. We have area A and B for what I think we had 40 views. So create dependent views just like that. It's processing in the background. Okay, and just like that, 80 views created because we had 2 for each of the views. All right, so in no time at all, we've come in and made 120 views, 80 of which are dependent and 40 of which are the host view or the parent view. Okay, so now that we have our floor plans and ceiling plans created, let's produce sheets for these views using the exact same convention. Okay, so for this, we're going to use the tools View Creator again and Spreadsheet Link, which you'll find common throughout this presentation, as Spreadsheet is my favorite tool. Okay, you can see down here, sheets. We don't have any sheets at all. So the goal here is to make a sheet for every single view with the exact same naming convention as the name of the view itself. Okay, I'm going to start with grabbing Spreadsheet Link. Okay, and first you select the category you want, and in this case, we want category. Okay, and the view category, and within the view category, we want to extract the 2 parameters of view name and family. And the only reason I'm putting family in here is so I can sort them. Okay, I want to have all of my, see by doing that, you can see it's got 3D views, then ceiling plans and floor plans. Okay, I'm going to reverse that. I'm going to go descending because I want my floor plans listed first. And here is a list of all the views that we just created with the view creator. Okay, I'm going to save this out into its own spreadsheet on my desktop, and we'll just call it views. Okay, so here we're out in Excel, and I'm just going to pull this off to my other monitor like so. And I'm going to jump, let's see, I'm going to jump back into View Creator into a separate tab, into the Sheets and Title Block tabs. Now, most of you know there is no way to batch create sheets natively within Revit, but with the View Creator, you can batch add sheets, which is great, especially if you want them to, match the name of your views. So I'm going to pull this over like so, and I'm going to grab that spreadsheet that I made previously with the views, and I'm simply going to go grab all of them, copy to clipboard. I don't need that 3D one. Okay, jump over here and paste. Come down here, select whatever title block you want. Okay, so we'll do we'll do the 30 by 42 and say okay. And just like that, it has added all the sheets, okay, in batch. And you can see the 30 by 42 has been checked, which is what we selected when we started the dialog. Now, one thing it doesn't have the sheet number. Okay, so you can come in and type in a value for each of the sheet numbers. But instead, I'm just going to go ahead and process these the way they are. And it'll assign a sheet number because it has to have one anyway. But it's just going to do it arbitrarily, and Revit's going to decide what they should be numbered, which is fine for now. We'll come back to that. Okay, just like that, we created 120 sheets, which is great because we have 120 views. And here they are. You can see they're named exactly like the views. All right, I'm going to jump back into Spreadsheet Link. Again, categories. This time we're looking at sheets as opposed to views. Okay, so what parameters do we want to look at in the sheets category? We want the sheet name and the sheet number. Okay, so it gave it some arbitrary, looks like a structural numbering convention. So we'll switch that. So I'm going to save this out again to Excel just on my desktop. We'll call it Sheets. Okay, so from here, I can quickly go in and renumber them using things like autofill, as opposed to do it natively in Revit. Okay, so I want my floor one to be called A2.1 0.1. Okay, so the 2 indicates it's a floor plan. The 1 indicates first floor. And then I'm going to use 0.1 for all of the annotation floor plans. Okay, and I'm going to use, first, I'm going to come through each level and go ahead and use that same naming convention. So this will be A205.1, denoting the annotation, A206.1, 207. Okay, once I get these in, I'm going to use that 0.1 and then use 0.2 for dimension, 0.3 for furniture, and 0.4 for life safety. Now watch that. I can just do it quickly via the autofill function. Okay, so just imagine doing all of this renumbering natively in Revit. It would take forever, especially because it alphabetizes them. And in this case, they're actually already in the order that I created them. Okay, again, using the autofill again. So all 0.1s point to annotation, 0.2 points to dimension, 0.3 for furniture, and 0.4 for life safety. For 8 floors done. Okay, so that's all of the overall floor plans. Now is where it gets tricky, because we also have, if you recall, the partial plans, area A and area B. Okay, so I'm going to say A201, and for starters, I'm just going to autofill this down for the entire first floor. Okay, that's not what I wanted. I always forget whether to hold the control key down or not. In this case, I do, because I want these all to be A201. And then I'm going to come at the end and say 0.1A, 0.1 indicating annotation and A indicating the area. Same thing here, 0.2 for dimension and then A for area A and B for area B. Okay, do that for the rest of these. And even in Excel, again, if we were to do this in Revit, we'd have to right click, say renumber, enter that dialog, say okay, come back out and then re-enter it again. Whereas here, we're just going cell to cell. All right, here is where we can really pick up speed. I'm going to grab all of these and autofill for all of the floors. Okay, just like that. It autofilled. Now it autofilled exactly the same way as it would have been on the first floor because they all end in that 1. However, you can use some Excel magic to switch these out via the substitute function. Okay, so first, what cells do we care about? Okay, we care about column D 44 through 51. And we're going to swap out 201 for 202. And just like that, it's swapped all that naming convention out. Okay, and now I can select those and simply autofill the rest down to the bottom like so. Again, it still says A201 and, A202.1, but that's because it's been driven by this function. So I can come into the top of each one and switch that. A201 should be 203. Come down to the 4th level. This 201 should be 204. And I'm just going to the top cell of each level, you can notice, and jumping back into the function and swapping out what the new text should be. Because you imagine if you were to do this one cell at a time, even in Excel, it would still take a while without the autofill function. In Revit, it would take forever. Okay, swapping that out, now we have consistent numbering convention for 80 more sheets. Now, if I grab all of these, I can copy them. Okay, now this part is tricky. You have to go to paste special. And why do you do paste special? Because currently all of those values are being driven by a formula. If I were to simply copy the clipboard and paste, what it does is paste the formula, as most of you, as you know already. Okay, so if you paste special and paste values, it gets rid of the formula and just hangs on to the value itself, which is what we want. We don't want the formula. So now I can come back and copy the values only without the formula and paste them into the cells that populates the sheet number parameter. And then I'm just going to come back and delete all these. We don't need them anymore. Okay, what about the ceiling plan? Okay, we're gonna say that's A301, auto populate through A308. That was quick and fast. Okay, again, ceiling plans are also broken up into A and B. So I'm gonna do the first level, auto fill the rest, which still give me that A301. So then I can come back using that same substitute function. Okay, the text we care about column D, 110 through 111, and I wanna swap out 301 for 302. Okay, now I can autofill these, and then I'm just swapping out that value in the function argument itself. Now, seeing as there's only 2 per level, it might have been just as fast to just go ahead and type them in here, I don't know. But hey, this is a demo, so let's show it the fancy way. If I can grab this, that'll be a 305. .307 and finally 308. Okay. Copy to clipboard, paste, special, paste values only. We don't want to copy the formulas. We want to copy the values of the formula. Paste them in like so. Okay. So very quickly, we've come in and numbered appropriately 80 sheets. Imagine doing that natively in Revit. It would have taken forever. So I'm going to save that here and actually come back in, and I'm going to copy this entire column because, again, remember, we spit this out to Revit, we spit it out to Excel. So I'm going to copy the values back to Spreadsheet Link. And now I can simply apply this worksheet back into Revit. Now watch over here in the and the project browser has been updated. All of those sheets have now been numbered according to our company standard. Okay, so we have a ton of views and we have a ton of sheets. But so far we have only addressed floor plans and ceiling plans. What about the rest of the sheets? Okay, let's say our company has a standard method of naming and numbering sheets, which most companies do, right? And let's say this data is updated in an Excel spreadsheet. So let's use this data that's saved out to quickly create the balance of the sheets that we will need for the project. Okay, here again, we're going to use the view creator and spreadsheet link again. Pull this out so I can see the names of the sheets and the numbering. Okay, they match exactly the naming convention between the views and sheets. Okay, so here is my company's standard naming convention. Now these we don't care about because we've already done the floor plans and ceiling plans, but here's the rest. So how can we quickly come and make these sheets? All right, so I'm gonna go back to View Creator. And just like we did the previous time, I'm gonna jump over to the Batch Add Sheets function. I'm gonna pull this up so we can pull it down and out a little bit so we can see what we're doing. Okay, I'm gonna grab this Excel spreadsheet and copy all of the sheet names, copy to clipboard, paste into the Batch Add Sheets. Okay, I don't need Excel, I'm gonna pull that back off. Over here, I've already made the floor plans and ceiling plans, so I'm just gonna delete these right in here. Okay, get rid of the space. So here's the sheets I wanna make, 30 by 42, okay, and process. Okay, just like that, we created 41 additional sheets. Again, the sheet number was not assigned there. I could have done it there if I wanted to do them individually, but I like to do them the fast way via Spreadsheet Link. You can see it just kind of continued that last A308B and just kind of carried it out through what it thought would be the best, which is kind of funny looking. But So now we can use Spreadsheet Link and do the same thing. We're going to look to the category of sheets, extract those parameters. And again, the parameters that we care about are sheet name and sheet number. Okay, most of these are already done from the previous step. It's these ones down here that we care about. Pull this spreadsheet back on. So now I can simply copy these, which would be starting here at the cover, and paste. Pull Excel back up, jump below the ceiling plans, down to elevations, which starts at A401. Select and copy to clipboard. And I'll paste here. Again, I'm still in Spreadsheet Link. Okay, I'm going to pause for a moment. Notice I'm doing all this directly in the Spreadsheet Link spreadsheet. You don't have to save out to Excel ever if you don't want to. You can do it all within the Spreadsheet Link dialog itself. Every now and then I spit it out to Excel because I personally, for you coders, you know formulas and you can type the formulas right in. If that's the case for you, you'll never need Excel. The only reason I use it is because it has those nice little dialog box, the little crutch to help me figure out what the formula should be. If you know what the formula is, you can type it right in here in Spreadsheet Link. In this case, I'm not using any formulas, so I'm not jumping over there anyways. Okay, I'm going to apply active worksheet. Watch my project browser. You can see the numbers, and those have all been updated accordingly. Okay, so just like that, we have our standard naming convention and numbering convention populated in all the sheets. Okay. All right, so now that we have our sheets mapped out, let's create a sheet index that we can end up populating onto our cover sheet. In addition, I always like to organize my sheets by discipline in the project browser. And from what I've seen, most of the AEC industry follows the same logic. Okay, in this one, we will use Spreadsheet Link again. All right, so I'm going to create a sheet list. Excuse me, just native in Revit, nothing fancy here. I want the sheet number and the sheet name. I'm going to pull this out so we can see it better. All right, so as mentioned, I do like to sort by discipline. Discipline is not a native built-in parameter within Revit for sheets. It is for views, but not for sheets. So I'm going to create a custom project parameter, and it'll be a text type parameter. And I'm going to create another one, which is the sheet order. And I'm going to use integer for this. I always do integer for orders because, you know, I want it to be a whole 1, 2, 3, or 4. I don't want any 1.1 or 1a or anything like that. And that's what an integer does. It ties it to a whole number. Move these up top. Okay, so now we have our new schedule, and it has both of the two built-in parameters of sheet number, sheet name, and it has my two custom project parameters, sheet order and discipline. All right, from here, I am going to jump back out to Spreadsheet Link. Okay, now in the past, we've always done via category like this. But in this case, I have already created the schedule, so I'm not going to take the time to go and find the category and find the parameters again. I'm going to use the schedule because I've already done that, right? I did it in the last step. So that's what this allows you to do. You can pull over not only that category, but all the parameters that have been selected for that category as well. And here I can use, again, my favorite autofill to populate the discipline for all these sheets. So I can pull it down. Obviously, there's a ton of architectural. Okay, I'm going to stop at the cover. And in the cover, I'm going to give it the discipline of general, auto-populate down through my general sheets, which is the life safety, and then jump to more architectural. I'm going to pull these down. Okay, and then we have structural, mechanical, plumbing, electrical, and fire protection. And then I'm going to autofill the rest of these. Now, obviously, these are intended to be placeholders. As we move throughout the project and I get drawings from my consultants, I can come back here and autofill and populate the rest of their sheets. So this is just kind of a placeholder for them for now. All right, now I'm going to use the sheet order, which is the integer value, and I'm going to tell them where I want these to go in the schedule. I want my general sheets first, I want my architectural sheets second, and I'm just going to use my autofill. Now you could get fancy and use some Excel formula like if architectural then equals 2 or something like that. But we don't have many here, so I'm just going to put the value in myself and autofill for the rest of them. Okay, then we'll want structural as 3, mechanical next, then plumbing, then electrical, and we'll put fire protection last as number 7. And now I can apply this active worksheet back to Revit. Okay, now it's populated those cells. So what does that do for us? It still looks funny, right? It's still starting at A201.1. So now I can use my sorting and grouping, native within Revit to get these how I want the schedule to appear. So I want to sort by sheet order first and then discipline. Now I'm not necessarily sorting by discipline because I'm getting that done with the sheet order. The only reason I'm clicking this is because I want to have a header for my discipline. So I'm going to check that right there, that'll give me. All right. So now we have all the sheets. They are divided by discipline with a header for each one. Sheet order, we were simply using that for sorting. So I'm going to hide that. Same thing with discipline. We just wanted it for the header. So I'm going to hide that one as well. It's still in the schedule. It's just a hidden cell. Okay, in addition, I like to organize my browser by discipline as well. So I'm going to use those parameters that I created, and I'm going to group and sort my project browser by the same thing. Sort by discipline, say okay. And there we go. Now we have architectural sheets in their own drop-down. We have electrical in their own drop-down, general, mechanical, plumbing, and so forth. All right, so let's shift gears away from views and sheets. Okay, now I want to add rooms to all the levels and provide a consistent naming and numbering convention to all the rooms. Okay, so for this, we're going to use Renumbering tool from CTC as well as Spreadsheet Link again. All right, so I'm going to jump to my first floor annotation. Tag all. In this case, the room's already in there. I know that because this is my data set, and I know the room's already populated on my level 1. All right, so I'm going to come in and renumber the stairs with a prefix of S, S101, S102. And then the rest of them will just follow the standard 101, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 109 in the hall here. Change that like so. Okay, so now I'm going to jump to the second floor. The rooms are already been populated in this floor as well. So I'm going to use the tag all room tag. Say okay. Okay, now in this case, it tagged them all and it gave them the number, but I'm not real happy with the numbering it has in there. So I'm gonna come in the stairs, I'm gonna say this is S201, and then over here it's S, wait, that's not right. No, S202, there we go. Okay, and then I want the hotel numbers, the hotel room numbers to be in order. And then I want the bathroom and closets to be a subset of those numbers. Okay, so I'm gonna use Renumbering tool. So you say, where do you wanna start? I wanna start with room 201. And right here, see where it says auto swap room number? If you check this, it'll automatically swap it with another room if it already exists. Now this is a huge tool because everyone on this call has probably done the room number or the detail number dance where you change it, it already exists, so you got to go find that one and change that, and then you got to, you know, it takes a while. So this will come in and automatically say, hey, it already exists. I'm just going to swap it for you. Saves a lot of time here. Okay, with that, now you just start clicking the room. So 201, 202, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll grab the janitor closet in the corridor. Okay, now for these closets and bathroom, like I said, I want these to be a subset of the hotel room, so I'll say 201A, B, and C. Same thing here, just swap that out for 202A, renumber for the bathroom, the linen, and the closet. 203A, again, bathroom, linen, closet. Bathroom, linen, closet, and finally to the 206A, renumber. Auto swap is still checked. It holds that value because the last time I checked it, ABC. Okay, so now this second floor has a room number convention that I'm happy with. So now I'm going to go ahead and create a room finish schedule, which is the room category. And say plug in finish. This, again, this is native within Revit. No fancy tools here. All right, I want the room name and the room number, and I'm going to sort them by level. So we're gonna need that one as well. I'll get rid of this, I didn't mean to hit that. Okay, so we have our level, number, name, great. So here are all the rooms in the project. I am going to sort them by level with a header. So now we have all level 1, level 2. And I want to sort them level and then by number, like so. Okay, great. So we have that. However, this is an 8-floor hotel. What about the other 6 or 7 floors, right? So I'm gonna just come in here, select all, check none, and just grab my rooms. And from here, I can use the native Revit copy to clipboard, paste, align to selected levels. Now, a hotel is obviously a special case because a lot of the floors are identical. But just like that, I copied all of these rooms up to the other levels. If I jump up back to my room finish schedule, you can see it copied all the rooms, and you can see it held the room names. Okay, so if you have a hotel or any other building type where the floor plates align vertically, you can do that. You can copy paste and it will hold the room name for you. Now the number, that went absolutely haywire, as you can see. Okay, so we got 2 columns taken care of, the level and the name. So let's use Spreadsheet Link to sort out the numbering. Okay, again, this, instead of doing categories, I can do categories, but I've already created the schedule in Revit, so I may as well just utilize the infrastructure that's already in place. Pull out the room finish schedule. Okay, Now I'm gonna, let's see, yeah, I'm gonna save this out to Excel. You don't have to, again, just as I was talking earlier, if you know how to insert formulas, then you can stay within the Spreadsheet Link user interface the entire time. But for me, I like to save it out to Excel because I'm more of a novice user and like to use the crutch of the function dialog. All right, I'm gonna come back here and I'm actually gonna, I forgot to sort these by level. I'm gonna do that here and then sort by name. Okay, now I could have sorted by number, but I wanna do by name because I want them, that's how I'm gonna end up copy pasting from level to level because I want the names to align, not the numbers. And ultimately the numbers, but as you can see, the numbers don't mean anything past level 3. Okay, level 1 and level 2, we already did that. We did it natively in Revit, but I want to copy the same numbering convention that I laid out for floor 2, which is the 201A for the bathroom, C for the closet, B for the linens, and then just the straight 201 for the hotel room. Select all those, auto-fill down for the entire height of the building. And just like that, they've been numbered accordingly. Now, they're still pulling on that convention from the second floor because they all start with 2, but we can use that same function we learned in the last iteration, which is the substitute function in Excel. So I could say, okay, what text do we care about? We care about these cells right here, which is the 3rd floor numbers, like so. Okay, what is the old text we want to replace? We want to replace 20, and we're going to place it with 30 for the 3rd level. Okay, and it's swapped out all that. Naming convention done for 3rd level. Okay, what about the others? Now I can grab this entire thing. Again, you can see the top, that's defining the formula. All the cells below it is reading the autofill function from that formula placed at the top. But I'm gonna grab the whole thing and autofill the other 6 levels, or 5 or whatever. Okay, now you can see they're still taking on that 3rd level naming convention, but now the infrastructure is in place where I can just go to the top cell of each floor and swap out in the function a 3 for a 4. Okay, there's the 3rd level. Everything's good there. Scroll down to the 4th level, just go back to the function and swap out the 3 for a 4. And now that's been updated for the 4th level. Swap out the 3 for a 5, that's been updated for the 5th level, 6th level. Okay. That all looks good. Okay, just like we did previously, any numbers that's being driven by a formula, you don't want to copy the formula. You want to copy the value. So I'm going to come back in and select all of these, copy to clipboard, paste special, okay, and then paste values. Okay, these are the ones we want. Those are just the values, no formula attached. And I'll copy these back into the room number cell value, paste, okay. Get rid of all this stuff I did in the margin. I don't need it anymore. Okay, now I can come and grab all of these new values that I got via some Excel functions and some autofills. and copy these to clipboard. Go back to my spreadsheet link. Again, if you know how to write formulas yourself, you wouldn't have needed to go to Excel at all. You could have done it all right here and just insert the function in this cell right here. But for me, I like Excel because I'm more of a novice level. Paste those in and then apply this worksheet. Okay, and just like that, we have assigned those room numbers to the room names that echoes the second floor, just like that. And the names we did native in Revit. So. Okay, so we already have a good jump on the room finish schedule when we organize the room numbers. So we can just use the room schedule we already started and go ahead and add the finish fields to them. All right, back to our finish schedule. I'm gonna add some more fields. I'm gonna add, let's see, floor finish. Gonna add the walls. North wall, south, east, west, and we'll put a ceiling in there as well. Okay. So now what? We could go through and we could fill out all of these in Revit, one cell at a time. Or we could jump back to Spreadsheet Link. Again, the schedule's already created, so I'm going to use that infrastructure that's already in place, and I'm going to extract those values. Now this time, I'm going to do it. First, let's see, I'm going to sort this by name. And I'm sorting by name because I want similar rooms to have similar finishes, right? So in the bathroom, let's say we want ceramic tile on the floor and the walls and the paint. We want something that's intended for like a wet location, like an epoxy or some type of, wet location paint. We'll call that PT2. And I want this in all of the bathrooms. So I can use my autofill function and pull this down for all the bathrooms. Okay, those are all the hotel rooms. On the first floor, we had a men's and women's, so I could come and quickly paste those here. No, looks like I forgot to copy, so I can come back, try this again, copy to clipboard. And paste here. Okay, what about the hotel rooms? Well, let's do carpet 1 on the floor, and we'll do paint 1 on all the walls. Okay, so I'm just gonna insert in the first one and on the ceiling. Autofill all the way over and autofill all the way down. Again, this could be done in Excel. Say you have an interior designer who likes to input his or her finishes within Excel. You could create this schedule. We'll do VCT in here. You could create this schedule in Revit, create the spreadsheet in Spreadsheet Link, and then save it out to Excel and give the spreadsheet to him or her, and they could populate these finishes in Excel outside of Revit, never even opening Revit, and then give it back to you, the PM or the BIM manager or whoever's kind of heading up the Revit model. You could take this Excel file, kind of working in the background here. You could take this Excel file and simply insert it right back into Spreadsheet Link and pump these values back into Revit. Okay, so linens. Okay, so those will all get VCT, paint. I'm gonna copy that same thing over to, let's see, the closets. I'll do a couple more, don't worry, I won't do the entire thing. I'm just getting a couple more in because it's quick and easy and fast. Okay, what about the corridor? Well, if you recall, it was, let's see, it had, we'll say it gets a special carpet, we'll call it carpet 2. The north wall, let's say, gets a special paint too. It's like an accent color. We'll call it paint 3. Now the east, south, and west sides of that corridor were open to below. So I'm just gonna leave those blank. Actually, we'll give that ceiling a special accent color as well. So we'll call that paint 3. So now I can grab this, pull it to all the corridors because it was open to beyond. Okay, what about the kitchen? It's obviously a wet location. So I'll start with maybe something similar to a bathroom, ceramic tile. Maybe you want to swap that out, you know, do whatever you want. It's just like filling out a finish schedule. You can replace any value, lobby, stairs, reception. All right, I think that's good for now. Let's just put this back in. So after I've done that, autofill for, you know, 99% of it, and then just say, apply active worksheet. And just like that, those values have been applied to the finished schedule. So imagine doing all of those in Revit. It would have taken a very long time. And I could have finished it out with just another few minutes, but you get the idea. Okay, so we've done quite a bit now. We obviously have a ton of views and a ton of sheets. And seeing as we have 8 levels, each with 4 different types of floor plans and broken down into partial plans, let's say, all right, the sheet number is just getting out of control. How can we, you know, how can we handle this? So let's deep into production. Let's say this is just too many sheets. So we decide to upsize the sheet to maybe a 36 by 48, and that'll allow the entire floor plate to fit on one sheet, which will in essence eliminate all the partial plans. So how could we do that really fast? Okay. I'm going to use another tool. Again, here's let's see. Partial plans for the annotation plan, the dimension plan, some partial plans for the ceiling. All of the sheets, tons of partial plans in here. I believe there's 80, I think, if I recall. Okay, so quick select. This is a free tool, by the way. Anyone can have this. Okay, so you can apply the filter, the project, or the view. In this case, we want an entire project. Pick a category. The views is what we care about. Okay, and we're looking at the view name. So I'm going to say if it contains area, I want to select all of these views. Okay, again, we're looking in the entire project of the category views with the parameter of view name, the value of area. Let's say update selection, just like that, it's selected all 80. I'm going to come back, change the category to sheets. Now I'm looking at sheet name, again, contains area, update selection, which should be 80 more. Yep. So it jumped from 80 to 160, and you can see those are broken down by views and sheets. Ceiling plans, sheets, all of our partial plans, both views and sheets. Okay, say okay. Down here, you can see I have 160 items selected. Here, I just hit my delete key. That's it. They're all gone. Okay, so we have eliminated and deleted all partial plans, both views and sheets that fast. Okay, so this concludes the webinar, Automate Tedious Tasks in Revit. As you can see, these are extremely powerful tools. If anyone is interested in learning more about these tools, please reach out to your sales consultant so we can set up a one-on-one conversation with you. If you don't have a sales consultant, please feel free to call our main line and we'll get one assigned to you. So with that, do we have any questions? Okay, do you have any suggestions for placing views on sheets? That's a great question. And thus far, you know, I really don't have a good, fast way to do that. We don't have a tool, and unfortunately, it is the old, you know, open the sheet and drag it on. So unfortunately, not yet, I'll say. Good question, though. Okay, any more questions or comments on the webinar? I hit several different CTC tools. I used them in combinations and different workflows. Okay. You know, I thought we had a poll, but I'm actually not seeing one. So you can ignore my previous poll comment. Okay, here's another question. Are there any tools for importing spreadsheets to display in Revit? Yes, we do. And that is called Schedule XL. And that is another CTC tool that is part of the same suite. So if you get the BIM Project Suite, it includes both Spreadsheet Link, which is what we are looking at today, and it includes another one called Schedule XL. And it takes any schedule that was created in Excel and populates it in Revit. So a lot of people use that one for like a life safety code study, for example, or anything else you want to create in Excel. You can do that with another tool called Schedule XL. Good question. Thanks for asking. All right. Good questions. Any more? Okay, well, with that, I think we'll go ahead and conclude the webinar. Again, thank you for everyone for your time. I hope this was useful, and have a great day.